Hi there, it's Colin Daniel here. How you doing? This is the first lesson in a series of 3 lessons, and it's to answer one of my students' questions about tone on the guitar. And his question was pretty hard to answer in one lesson because there's a bunch of factors, so I'm going to do it in 3. And this is for Dan Boone. And we're going to start with the source of some of the tone from our hands. And I truly believe that the biggest part of our tone is from our hands. You know, you can put a different guitar, like in a good player's hand, you can put a different guitar, you can plug him into a different amp, but his tone still comes through, his character, his personality. So a lot of your tone and personality comes from the right hand, even more so than the left hand, the right hand. Now, one of the first things to address is the implement that you use to strike the strings. I prefer a very thick pick. You can see that here. This thing is like a custom-made pick by a friend of mine, Jim, in Texas. And these are made out of a special material. It's very hard, harder than steel. Not an easy pick for a beginner to use. I do prefer a thick pick myself, though. I think a lot of the players that want to pick single lines, like jazz players and heavy rock players that want to play fast, use a thick pick. It's really a mechanical advantage for speed, if you're looking for speed. I know that in the 80s, in the shred metal days, definitely most of the good guitar players didn't play anything thinner than a mil for a pick. Now, I know there's a few that played like 88 or 90 mil picks, but for getting a decent stiff pick, is you don't want any give in the pick. This pick here has absolutely no give to it all. So why would I use a pick? Well, the leverage thing. You see, with a pick, you have this down-up motion going on, and it's very fast. And with a thick pick, if you hold it at just the right angle, see, that can affect your sound too. Every player has a different way of holding their pick. I know Pat Metheny kind of holds his pick like this, with his first finger kind of pointing towards the point of the pick. Eddie Van Halen holds his pick in his second finger, uses the first finger to tap with, and then picks with his pick and uses these 2 fingers, the last 2 fingers, to pluck notes with 2. So it's kind of a form of hybrid picking. Other examples are Derek Trucks, who has done his own thing and also has done lots of work with the Allman Brothers and Warren Haynes. If you look at some of their work, Derek plays mostly with his thumb and his first finger on his right hand. Now with the fingers, you'll find that it doesn't have the attack. Like that's the same riff with my thick pick. I like to dig into my single notes more, as opposed to the pick. So this pick is definitely not as bright as a thinner pick would be. As you run into a thicker pick, the brightness, some of the brightness of the attack disappears. Definitely with the flesh of your fingers, the brightness disappears, but you get definitely get a different tone. It's softer. There are some advantages to the fingers as opposed to the pick because of the tonal quality. So it depends on what kind of music you're wanting to play and what you're trying to accomplish with the pick and the fingers. But for me, the pick is the way to go because I really love the idea of having that advantage of the mechanical advantage of the down-up picking. Because once you train your hand to do that, you can use, and especially with this thick pick, it just kind of slides over the strings. It's wonderful that way, but you do have to get used to it. And there is no wrong or way to hold the pick. It's what works for you. Like I said, Pat Metheny was holding his pick one way. I hold it with my first finger tucked more in. It's tucked back a little more, that again is a matter of choice. You have to find out what works for you. So I hope I've answered some of your questions about tone, just in choosing whether it's the fingers or the pick. And we'll see you in the next lesson soon.